my assumption, and I'm putting that to the side. So on some level, they might think that it's not potentially helpful. And here's the needle that I really want to thread here. The idea that maybe KK's testimony and or D-Rock's testimony makes it more clear that either they don't know, okay, which would be interesting given the positions that they stand in, or that somehow could it make it more clear that they ought to be co-conspirators if there's going to be a conspiracy. I'm not sure I can get my head around exactly why they're not getting on, but on some level, the prosecution would be moving heaven and earth if they were helpful and not a distraction for the jury. So that's all I can take from it. Somehow they're not going to be helpful. Either they are going to make them wonder why this prosecution is happening at all, or maybe they just don't bring anything the way that they ought to. But somehow they must believe that they're going to take the jury off track.
So again, it's difficult from the reporting to understand what this audio of Kristina Khorram is, but I'm just going to read you what the reporting of it is. So this audio, it appears Kristina Khorram says, "We have camera footage of who was in the house." Perez says, "I went to PD about it, said, you can delete it. He said, okay, and deleted it. Then I told you." She asks, "Did you hear anyone else in the house talk about it? Did anyone else ever bring it up again?" Perez says, "No." Perez says, "Rob talked about it, but he said he didn't want to see it." Prosecutor asks, "Why did you not want to delete it?" Perez says, "It wasn't my role." You go back to the audio recording. Perez says, "There should be an investigation. Mr. Combs thought he might be compromised in some way. His phone data." This all goes, right? By the way, let me read some of the messages here. I'm going to ask you two questions here, Tyler. A, the audio that you're hearing and the text messages I'm about to read that were entered into evidence, this all goes to racketeering, right? I think the inner circle who were allegedly a part of this criminal operation, setting up things, committing crimes, covering them up. That's the allegation. Also, I want to ask you, so your opinion on this, but also, how is it this can be introduced into evidence if you don't call Kristina Khorram? I'm curious about that. Let me read you some messages. So a message was entered into evidence before anybody was even called to the stand. There was this text message from Combs to Kristina Khorram. "Make sure Robin is not doing anything dumb, like not having that rent paid on time. Can you make sure she paid for this month, please?" Now that seems to be in reference to Jane, the idea that he was paying her rent. Important for the prosecution to say he had financial control over her, a form of coercion maybe, for sex trafficking purposes. And then listen to this exchange between Cassie Ventura and D-Rock from January 2017, where she messages him, "My bathroom door is broken down. He's blaming me for going to someone else's house when I pulled over to see if I was being followed, and I was. He has my key, so I'm leaving. I do not feel safe. I'm not bleeping with anyone else." And she messaged him that her doors were broken. D-Rock responds to her, "You know I can't take your keys from him. He's here. He is here. You are there. I think that's the best thing for now." Two questions. How is this being introduced into evidence? Don't you need somebody to authenticate it? Don't you need the witnesses? Don't you need D-Rock? Don't you need KK to testify or no? And B, what do you think the value of this is?
Well, I think it's highly valuable. It goes to the racketeering charges that we just discussed. It shows that there's an enterprise, that they're providing assistance to Mr. Combs. We have a high-level assistant who worked for Mr. Combs for 3 years.
Yep.
We had those text messages regarding KK and him talking about going to the store, the adult store, setting up the room. Is it done yet? That goes to the racketeering charges. So it's valuable for the prosecution to introduce these text messages. But the question concerning how are they introducing these text messages without authenticating them through a witness? We did hear some facts earlier regarding there being 3 people on the text message, with KK, Perez, and I believe there's another individual on there. I could see how it's getting introduced through Mr. Perez being on the stand. But the text message between Cassie and D-Rock, unless this was a piece of evidence that was authenticated earlier in the trial when Ms. Ventura was on the stand, it seems odd that the defense is objecting to this being introduced.
It might have been. It might have been when she was on the stand. By the way, the jury is now seeing these messages that Perez had sent to Combs and Jane. So I think it's August 12th, 2023. "Just left 2 candles and room phone in front of room door. I'm only 9 minutes away if you all need anything." There's another conversation.